Touch Me, TBHK, by Sugarush. Chapter 3, Not So Sleepy Beauty. The school bell in Kamome Academy, which signifies the students to evacuate the school premises, rang all around the area since it was already 5:30 in the afternoon. Countless pairs of footsteps disrupted the once peaceful aura that surrounded the yard as individuals went out of the gate one by one. "Goodbye, Minamoto-senpai," the owner of the voice. The owner of the said name shifted his sight towards a group of first years who were currently on their way to the exit. He simply etched a small beam in his lips, waving at them afterwards. The blonde proceeded to enter the school's designated room for the student council. His fingers fumbled on the knob, as his other hand was busy carrying a small stack of folders. A satisfied sigh flew out of his mouth after successfully opening the doors, closing it subsequently. Just as he walked towards the desk on the other side of the room, his foot unfortunately got caught on something. His brain immediately cursed upon finding himself now hurling towards the dusty floor. The folders that he was once carrying were scattered around him because of this. Terry groaned in pain as he propped his arms on the ground. His orbs of oceanic blue scanned around the area to check on what caused him to trip, his sight landing on a sleeping person. They seemed to be wearing some kind of white quarantine suit, with their face planted against the fluffy carpet. The confused boy immediately scooted away from the breathing body, his thoughts clouded with a dozen of questions ranging from how this person went in here and who they are. A lump started to settle in his throat as he slowly poked the sleeping figure, aiming to wake them up. He received a response to his action was an abrupt, annoyed grunt. The person flipping their position, where they are now facing towards the ceiling. The boy finally got a glimpse of the person's facial appearance, that was covered with a transparent face shield. He inched closer to inspect it, realizing afterwards that this random sleeping person is a girl. His eyes strained on her closed ones, his memory failing to recognize her as one of the high school students. He cleared his throat before placing some gentle knocks against her face shield. Ryan's harmonious slumber was cut short after feeling her cheeks vibrating. She irritatingly flickered one of her eye-colored orbs open, a hazy vision of a young male looking down at her, welcoming her afterwards. "Who are you, and why are you disturbing my rest?" Terry blinked his eyes in regards with her snarky question, when it was supposed to be him who should be asking who she was. He awkwardly scratched the back of his neck as he pursed his lips in pure bedazzlement. "I'm Minamoto Teru. I'm sorry for interrupting you." The blonde knew that it would be rude to get furious on someone without knowing the reason why they did a certain action. That's why he figured out that it would be best if he stayed calm in interrogating this stranger. "May I know why you're here? I mean, if it's all right to you, of course." His lips curled into a small smile after witnessing the girl plopping back on the carpet, her sight now glued on him. Ryan immersed herself in thoughts as she questioned her own on how she ended up here as well. It was then she realized that her once favorite place to hang out in was taken over by a girl who's insecure with her legs, a perverted bipolar ghost, and a seemingly lost middle school kid. All these were pretty weird to comprehend at first, but as time went by she had no choice but to be the one to adjust with the circumstances, since she doesn't want to get involved with anything that they were doing. The second stall in the girls' bathroom was her sanctuary in this school. The air is very cool, plus the scent of the mothballs somehow pleases her. It was just unfortunate that some random ghost actually resided in the stall next to it, and now she has to look for new places to sleep in while she awaits her classes to start at 6 p.m. The thoughts that spirits are real actually did surprise her. However, after seeing the ghost that she accidentally summoned because of Yashiro, she's not sure if the scary movies she grew up with will be terrifying for her anymore. The fact that this school is haunted by a child-looking ghost boy that floats around with his large dictator hat that is pretty much comical to her. Ryan glanced back at the blonde who was patiently waiting for her response. Her throat suddenly became hoarse after noticing a flag strapped around his arm, recognizing it as some kind of the tags for those pupils who are part of the student council, similar to what she sees in some movies she illegally watched in the internet. If this boy will report her to the teachers, then she could kiss her kindergarten medals goodbye. I'm a lost ghost, she croaked out, a petty lie to which made the male raise his eyebrow questioningly at her. Her fingers grasped on a random small object beside her as she threw it towards a random corner to create a diversion so that she could hide until the guy decides to leave the room. Unfortunately, the blonde looked over to where the pen had landed, shifting his head back in front of him a few seconds later on. Terry bit the inside of his cheek in disbelief to see a small part of her leg that was poking out on a desk. A sigh came crawling out of him as he walked closer towards the unsuspecting hiding female. I can still see you. That's the end of that, and I'm sorry about my accent. I have no idea what was going on there with that accent. I do apologize for that. However, this story was said by Wattpad to only be this chapter was said to only be 4 minutes, even though it took me 6 minutes. However, I think that was because of my accent and the way I was reading, plus the amount of mistakes I made, which you can call bloopers. I'm not gonna put them bloopers in a separate video.